Look, choosing between listening to this show or listening to Retro Gaming Roundup, it's like giving between a choice between two piles of horse manure. Now, do you want the dried up old manure or the fresh manure that's still wet?
Welcome, Retro Stalkers, to another exciting episode of Stalking the Retro, episode 13. That 70's show was really racist. Hello. So what's up?
Alright. You probably saw the plans that I put up on the Game Gabble forum for, my pinball controller that I'm making.
Yes. So have you sent off the plans to anyone yet, or are you just still working on the plans?
I'm still working. Well, I've got something that I want to do. See, I had to change some of the designs because I realized that some of the buttons that I've actually ordered from this company that is on eBay, they sold me some of these hap buttons, but this particular hap button that I purchased, which is supposed to be one of their high-end buttons, you know, it's supposed to be able to last 10 million presses before it fails.
Yeah, that's what hap is supposed to be. What are they, fake hap buttons?
No, the fake hap buttons are the ones I'm going to be putting on the top. Because they're not going to be used as much.
Right.
But I do have my cursor keys. Only 3 of them, though, which really annoys me. But
yeah, I would think you would need 4 instead of 3.
Yeah.
That might make it difficult to move about in the games.
But hold on. Yeah, so I put the micro switch in, so... I like that. Like,
sounds
it's
like
a micro
quality.
switch. But no, it's just a triangular blue button that I've got, and I'm also buying another one from the same company that are getting me the other hat buttons. So through them, I've got two high-end hat buttons. I've then got some like really cheap hap knockoffs, which they do actually state on the page that it is a knockoff. But they say that it lasts. They reckon the micro switch on it lasts 1 million presses. I'm not too sure about it. But,
Was this made in China though? Because they love to exaggerate about that shit.
I don't know. They didn't actually state it. All they said was that it was a hap-like button. They didn't actually state where it was made. And then I have purchased a couple of really small Sanwa buttons as well, which they're only 18mm, so I'm going to be using those for my start and back buttons.
Right. Sanwa is also a really good maker of buttons.
Yeah. And then hopefully I should be getting a couple of emails from either Hap or another company that I've been trying to get hold of to find out how much this particular pinball plunger assembly is. So I'm just scared that's going to be like the last item I'm going to get, and I'm going to be waiting for it for ages.
What was that suggestion that UK gave you on the forums?
Yeah, he told me that apparently there are some kits to make main cabinets with pinball assemblies that actually come with a potentiometer and everything with it, but I couldn't find it. I was just like, where do you get this from? And where? I just couldn't find any. I went on Google, I tried to look up all these like main cabinet people, and I couldn't find any of them. And I was just like, where did you see this? Because it'd be kind of cool if there was like a pinball plunger with a built-in potentiometer, so I don't have to build the whole thing myself. I mean, if you saw that YouTube video that I posted, it does show a guy who's made his own little, he bought himself a pinball plunger from HAP themselves, and he then like stuck a piece of metal on the near the end of the pinball plunger, so then it will actually pull back a potentiometer, and then there's actually a spring going in the opposite direction which pulls the potentiometer back when the plunger is released, which is a pretty cool way of doing it. It's more likely what I'm going to have to do, but if I can find a pinball plunger that does actually have a potentiometer on it, that would be better, because then it just means less work for me.
Hell yeah. But he never got back to you about exactly where these things can be found? Do you have to, like...
Well, I sent him... I posted a reply, and he hasn't replied back yet, so...
Maybe he remembered buying them before and can't remember the website, so he has to look it up. They did just release their latest podcast. I was going to release mine today, but I saw that they released theirs. I was like, fuck it, nobody's going to want to listen to Stalking the Retro. They got 6 hours of RGR to listen to. It's like, what's the point? Nobody's going to click on the link.
Apart from the plunger, I think the only other thing I need is a sheet of acrylic, so I can lay that over a design. So I'm either going to go with the Arabian Nights back glass, or I might go with something else.
Why don't you have it silk screened onto the actual case?
Where would I get that done, though?
At the local silk screening shoppy. Don't you have that one around the corner?
No, that's not that I know of.
Oh,
but
damn.
I'm really interested in doing this, and hopefully I can actually do something about it rather than go crazy over this wireless Atari that I wanted to make and then bail out when I was trying to mess around with the resistors. But
yeah, I don't think I would ever try a project of that large nature. I do plan on modifying my Genesis if the switches come in the mail soon. Scott's supposed to send me a couple of little switches so I can do the region mod.
All right.
I'm sure there's probably a place I can find them in Seoul, but yeah, I haven't found them at like your normal hardware shop. There is an electronic shop apparently in one of the buildings at the electronics center, but I've never gone into the basement of that building, to be honest. I should definitely check it out.
Is this the same building that you mentioned a while back that apparently started to?
Oh no! This is a different. This is the Yongsan Electronics Center, which is like a block of electronic shops. You see part of it. You see the main gaming alley in one of my YouTube videos. The last video, actually.
All right.
But there's another building on that area. There's a building in that area in the Yongsan Electronic Market called ET Land, and apparently there is a PCB shop. Yeah, that's what it's called. I couldn't find ET either, so
oh no.
I was looking around like, ET, where are you? Don't you want to go home? But apparently not, because I can't find the fucker.
All you got to do is get a speech and spell and just be like, E.T.
I was like putting Reese's Pieces on the ground, but they're really expensive because you can only buy Reese's Pieces at Costco in Korea. They don't sell them at your corner shop. I ran out of Reese's Pieces. Fuck you, Costco. You should sell a larger bag. Bastards. But yeah, I need to go to ET Land just to see what they get. See if they got ET in the basement. That's the rumor. Funny thing is, they know E.T. They know who he is, so they've seen that movie. But I was freaking out the other day. I was like, I was watching. I was like, I just had this strange desire to watch MASH. And it really takes a strange desire to want to watch that show. But I just had this weird desire to watch it. And so I was watching an episode of it, and my wife's wife comes in, and she's looking at me, and she's like, "What's this show you're watching?" And I said, "It's MASH. Didn't you ever get that in Korea?" She's like, "No, I've never heard of it." I said, "It's a show about Korea."
No, I can see how they couldn't really show MASH in Korea.
Yeah, it's a little offensive. I never realized it when I was growing up watching it. But now that I watched the episode, I was like, that guy's not even Korean. He's their slave houseboy. And a lot of racism in that show. It's just so insane, like 70's and 80's TV shows, how much fucking racism. I had another strange hankering to watch an 80's show called Night Court. I just had these weird desires to watch strange shows that I liked when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Night Court?
No, I haven't.
It's this really weird show about this crazy judge and this really goofy ensemble of people. And the judge worked during the night court, thus the name Night Court. But anyway, the point is, there was one of the episodes I was watching, there was this blind guy. the black girl in the first season of the show, she's like, I feel so sorry for the handicapped, but they do so well despite their horrible limitations. I'm like, that's so Jesus Christ. Fucking cripples, you know? You can't get away with that on today's television. I feel sorry for them cripples.
Actually, thinking about it, there was a TV show on yesterday where they were like going through like TV shows that were just in the 70's, and I can't remember what it was called because I only saw like the middle of it, but it was like this TV show in 1971 in the UK, and it was like it was a comedy show, but it was about a white couple living next door to a black couple, and you know these, you know, the 70's, you know,
Yeah.
this is early 70's, a little dodgy, and they were it was a show basically about those two just giving each other racist slurs, not just one way but the other way as well. So
Nice.
Yeah, you know.
What's the name of this show?
That guy was constantly calling, not necessarily the N word that I really hate, but calling him things like gollywog. Gollywog is like a black doll thing. It's a bit British, but and then the other guy would be constantly calling the white neighbor a honky, and he was just like, bloody hell.
A honky is universal, but gollywog, yeah. If I walk up to an African American and said, "Hey, you gollywog," he would just like, I'm just gonna punch him just in case that's offensive. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like a gollywog is basically it was a toy that got banned years and years ago because it was basically like a doll with like really nasty looking hair, and it was like jet black.
Oh god.
And it's and it would always be wearing like a blue jacket or something, but it is very, very offensive to look at, and it had like the big red lips and
oh god.
And the really white eyes, and
just like my pop-up pirate. Korean pop-up pirate.
Yeah, it's like a Korean pop-up pirate, but even blacker than that. It's like jet black. But yeah, I was just remembering. I was just watching that on TV last night.
What's the name of that show again?
I can't remember the name of the show. It was I was basically just watching a TV show, which was like a documentary about TV shows that were during the 70's.
Oh, right.
And they were doing it like each year it was on. So 1971 was this particular show. I can't remember what the hell it was. I don't even recall them saying what it was called, but they had like the actors talk about it, and they were just like, this stays in the 70s. This was played in the 70's and stays in the 70's for a very good reason.
Hell yeah.
Because they were both just really fucking nasty to each other. It wasn't just the black guy getting all the abuse. You know, the black guy was just as bad and just as racist as the white guy.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, I would like to track down that show. It sounds hilarious. Have you played any interesting, exciting games lately?
Again, not really retro, but I have played a game with a very retro aesthetic to it, which is Fez.
Fez. So tell me all about Fez.
Okay, well, have you ever played a game called Cave Story?
It sounds familiar, but no, I've never played it.
Okay, well, Cave Story was a game. Well, it was an indie game that was made by just one guy. One guy did the entire game. So he made the music, he made the level design, he did absolutely everything. It's like considered to be like one of the best indie games you can ever find.
Was that an Amiga game or PC or what?
Sorry?
Was that Amiga?
Yeah, it was a PC game.
PC?
It was a PC game which they eventually managed to port onto. They managed to port a special edition which is called Cave Story Plus, which you can get from Steam. There's a WiiWare version of it. There are actually two versions of the DS. One is based more on the WiiWare version, and there's another one which is actually done in 3D, which is still it's still a 2D platformer, but like everything is a polygon.
3D polygons, not 3DS style 3D.
Well, it's still 3DS style 3D, but it's still side scrolling.
Oh, right.
Like what the game intended, which unfortunately is the least popular out of all the ports that are made for it. But it was made by a guy who calls himself by the name of Pixel.
Oh, yeah.
And he then went on to make this new game called Fez, which is his latest game, which he even went as far as making a whole new engine for it, which is called the Trixel engine.
Trixel.
And yeah. And basically, you're just playing as this little, like, stick figure dude who one day manages to get himself stuck in, like, this sub-dimension where he ends up discovering a fez. So he puts it on his head, and he discovers that his two-dimensional world is actually meant to be 3D, and he can actually now control all the perspectives.
It happened to me once on acid.
But what happens is as he sees the world in every single angle he can see in, the game starts glitching out, and it's a really impressive intro, because it even comes up with like a boot screen and everything, and the game starts up again.
Weird.
And you end up.
Is this the one that's like a computer simulation or something? It's like his life is a computer simulation.
Kind of.
Yeah, they talked about that on RGR. That's where I've heard of it.
And and he wakes up and he discovers that he has to save the world, because now, since he was able to see every perspective, he has caused all these black holes to appear in the world.
I hate
so
it.
He has to go and collect these cubes, which are supposed to be like they act kind of like keys that open up doors.
Ooh.
And
isn't that like putting a round square peg in a round hole?
Well,
or a cube into a round hole.
well, you see, the thing is, you find these doors with squares on them, and depending on like how many squares are on the door, those are how many cubes you have to get before you can open that door. It has kind of like a Super Mario 64 kind of vibe going on it.
Oh, right.
But
it's a little bit of puzzler platformer kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. So if you've ever played games like it's kind of like a cross between of like Braid and Mario 64, but it's still like a side-scrolling. Well, see, this is the thing. It's a side-scrolling platformer, but you basically can turn the environment, and that's where the really cool bit comes in, because you can make two separate platforms into one platform depending on how you're looking at it. So it almost becomes like a MC Escher kind of painting, where you can join platforms together depending on your perspective.
Like the famous staircase.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it. I've only gone as far as discovering. You end up discovering that there's another civilization, sort of similar to you, but they actually talk in a different language. And I think what I'm supposed to do is try to decipher what they're trying to say. Oh, the really cool thing about the game, there's this room that you find where you can't see it at first, but when you spin the room at a particular angle, you see a QR code.
Oh yeah.
And then you scan that with your phone, and it then what pops up on the screen on your phone is something like what is it? RT, LT, and it basically gives you a code that you have to press with the triggers in order to find a hidden cube in the room.
Oh, that's pretty
which I
fucking
thought
awesome.
was pretty cute. I thought that was pretty cool.
And probably about 10 years from now, the domain will be changed and it'll show like a porn website. Like what happened to Nintendo and all their 1-800 numbers. Don't call the helpline, kids, unless you want some sexual healing.
Oh. But no, the graphics in the game is very, very it's very similar to what you actually see in Cave Story. It's just kind of like this hybrid of like 8-bit and 16-bit graphics. It's kind of like the in between. That's really
cool.
And just the music is amazing. Like every time you do something, like if you cheat, like I can't describe the music, but the music's just really cool. It's very think of those relaxing, those relaxation tapes that you
meditation
get back
bullshit.
in the day.
Yeah.
But then make it Tron-like.
Ooh.
That's what most of the music's like. It's kind of cool like that.
So exactly like LSD.
I'm really enjoying the game at the moment. Plus, it was only 800 points. I honestly thought they were going to whack it up to 1200.
So this is on the 3DS then?
No, it's Xbox 360.
Oh, right. They use points as well. Nintendo uses stars.
Oh, on the 3DS they don't. They've actually gone back to using real currency for the 3DS.
Oh, that's good. I hate all these fucking bitcoins and all these weird fucking currencies they're putting on the internet. And everyone knows bitcoins are for commies anyway.
No, I've just been playing a lot of that recently, and I've really liked it. I've also wanted to get hold of the new Trials Evolution game, which is the side-scrolling bike game, which is really good to play. Very, very similar to Motocross Madness, which I really liked on the original Game Boy. But I've been trying to save a lot of money as I can to afford plane tickets to go to the States this year. So
you're taking a trip to the colonies, eh?
Yeah.
Going back to Texas?
That's the reason why I haven't really spent much money on games this month, just because...
when are you going to the U.S.?
Near the end of... the second half of July.
Oh, right.
So I'm going to be there for my sister's birthday and stuff.
You're going to go to the CGE and all that shit?
Oh, when is that? When's that going on anyway? And then, even then, that's Vegas, isn't
July or August? I think it's August.
I mean, that'll be cool, but I really doubt I'm going to be able to.
It would be awesome, so you could get some interviews for us.
Yeah.
The only people I could interview here is fucking players on Starcraft. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, you're the Starcraft teams.
Yeah, I could interview Starcraft teams, but who the fuck would want to listen to a podcast about Starcraft teams? Well, I guess a lot of people would, but I hate Starcraft. So.
I've been hearing these things about these Starcraft teams. Like, is it really true that they have cyber cafes where if you are a fan of a particular team, they can kick you out?
I've never noticed that, but then again, I haven't been to a cyber cafe in Korea since maybe 2001.
Oh, that's quite a while then.
Yeah. When I first got here, they were the big thing because of StarCraft. They were every fucking place. You couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting a fucking internet cafe. But around 2001, I got my first laptop in Korea, Korean laptop. So I was just using that. But before like 99 to 2001, I was go in, play on the computer in one of those cafes. And that's all you'd see were people, kids mostly, some old people as well, but mostly children playing fucking Starcraft. And that's all you would hear was like the fucking Starcraft game going blasting in your fucking ear. It was really annoying. People smoking cigarettes and playing Starcraft.
I'm looking at the Classic Gaming Expo website, which doesn't really explain a whole lot. Oh no, here we go.
It's August something.
Is that August? Okay, so the 11th of August to the 12th. Nah, I'm not gonna be there. Damn. And it says on here that you have to register before the 31st of May. So yeah, I'm not gonna be there. I mean, it'll be really cool. I mean, it'll be the first time I go to Vegas and check this out. And I really want to go and see the that pinball museum as well.
Oh, yeah. I might be going in December. Sadly, there is no gaming convention in December, but
right.
But what about the Blackpool event? When is that? October?
Actually, no. I looked that up. Apparently, they've changed the name to it.
Really?
Okay. So it was called Replay Expo. There we go. Yeah, they just now renamed it just Play Expo.
Oh, so they're not replaying anything; they're just playing.
Yeah, I think what they're doing is they're now they're expanding it because from what I read on the Replay Expo 2011 website, they had like these tournaments going on for like Street Fighter and stuff, and apparently it was so popular for that they couldn't just have it as being a like a retro thing. Well, they're still going to be doing like retro gaming and stuff, but they're also going to have like these Street Fighter tournaments.
Oh no!
From what I've seen, they look like they're going to be doing Street Fighter X Tekken.
So when is it? Is it in October this year? Or?
Yeah, so it's the 13th and the 14th of October.
All right.
And I'll see if I can get there. See, last year it was in November.
At the very
I
least,
could
go to it and record something. I don't know, like the sounds of the Blackpool Gaming Convention or something.
But that's it. They're not. It's not in Blackpool this year. It's in Manchester. So
how far is that from you?
Too far. Well, Blackpool is. Well, Manchester is basically, from what I can remember, it's either below or above Blackpool. My logistics is really crap when it comes up north. But
to the Google Maps.
I've been to Blackpool before, but I haven't been to Manchester before.
Right. Home of the Manchester United football team.
Yep.
Those wankers.
But no, I want to see if I can do this year. Because last year my manager just went, no. Even though you do have time off, we can't let you have this time off during November of last year. And I was like, oh, thanks. So I couldn't get that off.
So what's the transportation like in the UK? Is there a train you can take? Or
yeah, I mean, there should be a train I can take to get there. Hold on, I love the fact that it's not actually telling me where in Manchester it is. It's a very plain website that
you still have dirigibles over there, right? So you could just take a dirigible to Manchester. Oh, sorry. Whenever I think of England, I think of ye old England. Still got Nazis hanging out on the street corners. So if you take a train, how long will it take you?
If I took a train, it might take me about, I don't know, 3-4 hours or so.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I travel sometimes 3 or 4 hours a day for work.
Oh, damn.
Before my old job. Now that I work nearer to my house, I don't have to, but I used to, like, until about 3 months ago, I was traveling about 3 hours on average a day on the subway.
What, for 3 hours on a subway train? Bloody hell.
Yeah, like an hour and 15 minutes there, hour and 15 minutes back.
Oh,
and then add up all the walking.
I thought you meant like a 3-hour trip one
No,
way.
no. Just like total for the day kind of thing.
Oh, right, okay.
If I went to another little private job, then I would have to travel another half hour and shit like that. So adds up to about 3 hours of traveling a day. We have Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi on the subways. Plus 4G. I got my Galaxy Note now.
Yeah, your big phone.
My big faux phablet, whatever the fuck people are calling it these days. I just like the fact that it's got a giant fucking screen. Gorgeous.
I just had a look at that and I was just like, I appreciate it for what it's trying to do, but it is a big phone at the end of the day.
It is a big phone. I love it for that.
Then again, me complaining about that, there is there was a tablet that I was selling at work at Maplin, and it was a tablet, but it actually had a telephone facility providing you put a SIM card in it. Right. And I was like, this is a 7-inch tablet. Why the fuck would you use this as a phone?
Was it like a Galaxy Tab or something?
No, it was made by ViewSonic.
Oh, right.
And, it's not a bad piece of kit, but the thing is, it's a 7-inch tablet that thinks it's a phone. And it's just like, have you ever seen I don't know if you have, and very unlikely that you have, but have you ever seen a TV show called, oh crap, now I'm going to forget the name, Trigger Happy TV?
Nope.
Oh, right, well, it's about this bloke that he would just do something really stupid in front of, like, CCTV cameras and stuff like that. But what he does, his most famous sketch is that he used to, like, have this huge, like, mobile phone made of, like, a piece of cardboard. And it would be, like, this massive phone.
Like
and then
the
I have to stand back to do this. But he'll do this in the middle of the street. Hello! John! What are you doing? Yeah, wicked, mate! Like, scream. The best one ever was when he was in the library.
Master.
And he scared the shit out of this grandma hardcore. She, like, jumped about 10 foot in the air and I couldn't stop laughing. It's like, yeah, I'm in a library! Just screaming his head off with this fake cardboard phone. It was so funny.
Oh, that's great. I'll definitely have to check that out if it's available, like, on YouTube or some shit.
Oh, it's bound to be on YouTube. It was like late 90s, early 2000s. There's bound to be like a recording for it.
Speaking of that, I was thinking about, before I bought the phone, I was weighing the decision, like, am I actually going to talk on this thing? Like, put it up to my ear and talk on it? At first I was, like, justifying, like, well, fuck, it comes with a headset, so it's going to be in my pocket. I'll probably, most of the time, when people call me, I'll just push the button on my headset and answer that.
But yeah, just have a look at that link I just sent you.
Hello? What? No, I'm in an elevator. Yeah. About 4 o'clock I can see you, yeah. About 4 o'clock, yeah. That'd be great. Sharp! Hello! What? No, I'm at the cash point. I'm on my iPad. Yeah. I didn't know if it's a phone, but it's just sexy, yeah. Yeah, no, it's rubbish. All right. Yeah. I'm totally up to the max, man. Yeah. Okay. Ciao.
no, if you look at other...
Is he doing new stuff? Because I just found one that he's screaming hello on an iPad.
Which one's that? That might be like a new thing that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the same guy. Let me turn the volume. Yeah, his iPad starts ringing.
No, it's a different guy.
Oh, is it? Is this some guy?
Oh no, it is.
It sounds like the same guy. It looks like him.
Guy. He just has a different. He just has a different haircut.
Yeah, it's like he looks like sounds like him.
Oh!
Now he's using real products like the iPad. He doesn't need a cardboard phone anymore because they exist now. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's it. It's okay. The show. Okay, the international version of the show was called "World Shut Your Mouth."
The world shut your mouth. Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah, you go to places in like New York and Tokyo and some places around Hong Kong, and just just do the similar kind of stuff he did on Trigger Happy. Well, that reminded me when I was in college, someone was stupid enough to buy one of those really shitty N gauges.
Oh god, yeah.
To make a call, you had to put the phone to the side of your
head. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just so weird.
Bizarre as hell. I've seen photos of people with those. I'll just pick up my monitor and shout at you. Hello? Yes.
No, that's what what Scott has to do, is to do that, but with a CRT monitor. Love that around with him.
Yeah, if he wants to do better than this guy, to one up him, that's the only way.
As to one up that would be someone to have one of those really old school huge widescreen TVs, but then that'll start to get a bit bizarre after a while.
The new Samsung Galaxy widescreen TV. Is it a television or oh fuck it? We're not even gonna bother calling it a phone anymore. It's too goddamn huge. There's no way you can fit this bitch in your pocket. Deal with it.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but Nintendo wants to really go digital now.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And apparently, the new Super Mario Bros. 2, which is supposed to be coming out for the 3DS, is going to get a simultaneous launch for both physical and digital.
Yeah, I read that today.
It sounds kind of cool. I don't know if I'm going to get the card or the digital download, but it looks like Nintendo at least wants to do something that Stream's doing. Not Stream, Steam.
Stream.
Steam Stream.
Steam Stream. It's their new wireless Steam. I don't
now, well, it's going to be on live.
It's on live stream. Steam. Now you got to be doing it.
But no, I've been reading up on this, and apparently Nintendo really wants to be doing this.
Well, everybody else is doing it, so why shouldn't Nintendo do it? Everybody else is taking LSD. Why shouldn't Nintendo take LSD? Everybody else is jumping off a cliff. Why shouldn't Nintendo jump off a cliff? I mean, look at the PlayStation 4. It's a fucking PC.
Well, we still don't know about the PlayStation 4 until E3 happens. But
yeah,
if this whole Blu-ray tagging thing is going to happen, then yeah, there's going to be some
tagging. Is that where you throw your Blu-ray at somebody?
No. That's the nickname that people are calling the whole physical DRM nonsense.
Oh, so they have a name for it now. Blu-ray tagging.
They're saying Blu-ray tagging as if once you put your game in, it registers with that PS3, and you'll only be able to play with that PS3 unless if you go around someone's house with the same disc, you then have to pay something like $10 to unlock it for that system. And
do they do a similar thing with Xbox?
Well, they're thinking again. This is only just speculation, but it seems that both the next PlayStation and the next Xbox will be doing something to that degree. It's just it hasn't been confirmed because they haven't showed the system off yet. But
yeah, it's a good thing I'm getting out of modern gaming then.
But the the only company that hasn't said to do this yet is Nintendo. So that, and there's a possibility of a Steam console coming out. So
Oh God, no! Everybody's making a console now.
but no,
where's
what's
Panasonic
cool?
with 3DO2? Come on, Panasonic, stop resting on your laurels. We need the 3DO2, and we need Keith Apicary to dance for it. He likes to sing it. That's fun.
Neo Geo.
Neo Geo. 3DO.
Oh man, yeah, Keith Apicary got like kicked out of of like some kind of convention. No, it was CGE. Yeah, he got kicked out of CGE. Same with like a bunch of other people as well.
I think it was he that got kicked out. Did he get kicked out of CGE?
Yeah, he got kicked out of CGE. So did a bunch of cosplayers as well.
Oh, really?
There's one really famous cosplayer who blatantly has the most fake hits I've ever seen in my life. She was supposed to like cosplay as Suda 5-1's new was it Lollipop Chainsaw cheerleader girl.
All right.
She got kicked out because apparently they thought her outfit was provocative, despite the fact she looks very close to the character in the game. Keith Apicary got kicked out because apparently he pulled his pants down and took his shirt off wearing nothing but a pair of underwear and saying something on stage.
Oh, nice.
And there was another guy who I think was another cosplayer. I can't remember why they kicked him out, but yeah, like 3 people got kicked out of like CGE just because. Well, not CGE.
Yeah,
what is it called?
I was wondering,
what's
like,
what's the design? What's that design conference called? There we go. GDC.
GDC. All right.
So yeah, a bunch of people got kicked out as GDC.
Too many fucking acronyms. It's just mind blowing.
Game Developers Conference. I'll just call it that.
The only acronym you ever need to know is XXX.
What is triple X? Because that's just easier.
Yes.
But yeah, they all got kicked out of GDC.
Oh god, that's great.
He
tries to get kicked out of these things all the time.
Yeah. and then starts talking about crap that doesn't really exist. Like how last year at E3 he starts talking about Dreamcast
2. Where's the Dreamcast 2? Is it here? He's digging in the trash can. Yeah, he's on LA TV recently. There's a new video of his up on YouTube. Where he's on live television dancing with some pop singer, something Natalie Cole, I can't remember her fucking name, something Cole. I've never seen her before, but apparently she's a pop singer looking for dancers. And I don't know how the hell he wrote
Keith Sweet.
You gotta see the video, it's fucking hilarious. Haven't gotten very far in Giant Citizen Kabuto yet.
All right.
But
so what? I remember seeing this game a while back. This Kabuto game, but you talked a little bit about it to me. Like apparently it was made in the UK and it has British humor in it. But what is it about? I mean, I remember seeing it. It had like I don't know, some head of like a dragon or something. I can't remember quite. But,
like this scary fucking disgusting monster.
Yeah, and like, what is it about?
It's like you're in this world where you have to. Well, it starts out like you crash land your little spaceship, and you have to find your buddy, and then you run into this weird race of people, and you basically use this race of people as kind of like a weapon. So you like start collecting them, and then you start making bases and stuff, and using them. So it combines like first-person shooter with RTS elements, which is pretty cool. I can't remember all of the backstory because I just played like the first 3 levels, and but that's the main gist of it. And you use these monsters or these aliens or whatever they are as resources to make a base. So yeah, it's really awesome. It's just the humor is bizarre and funny and very cartoony. And sadly, they never made a sequel to it, so there's only one ever made. But it came out in 2000, so it's... I guess Retro Gaming Roundup wouldn't call it retro. But it is an old PC game. But I got it on GOG for $3. They're having a half-price sale. And my buddy's like, hey, I used to play that game back in the day. Get that. And I was like, $3? What the hell? But it's really fucking hard. I haven't gotten back into it because I've been too fucking busy lately. But yeah, I'm definitely going to get into it and play it more whenever I have a fucking chance. But I've so backlogged in games. It's unbelievable. I haven't made a YouTube video in like 2 weeks.
I remembered they've put Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver on GOG as well, and or GOG or whatever you want to call it. And no, that's it. Dhalamar was talking to me about Soul Reaver. That's it.
All right.
And
he just buys tons of games and never plays them.
Yeah, he's just almost bought the entire catalog.
Yeah, he owns almost all of it. He put a list of like all the Steam games that he has bought up on Game Gallo forums, and because he was like chatting with me drinking, and just like I bought all these games and I haven't played any of them, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm looking at these screenshots of Kabuto, and yeah, it reminds me a lot of Black and White.
Oh, really?
Like the style, like you just have like a big island with a huge creature in it. Yeah, it looks like a dude with horns, and he's green.
Yeah.
And there are these things that look like huge, like fleas.
Yeah, there's some really weird looking fucking monsters in this game. Apparently, it was their first project. Also with some other programmers from Shiny Entertainment. You've heard of Shiny before?
Yeah.
They worked on the game MDK.
Shiny did some work with what was it called? Earthworm Jim and
right.
That
yes,
really
yes.
Hey?
No, it's just like now I get the graphical design. It's very Earthworm Jimmy for Citizen.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And they also did that really terrible, what was it, Booger Man, or whatever the hell they called it.
Booger Man, yeah. That should have been...
I rented that once, and I felt like I was ripped off with that game.
That should have been a mascot for the Sega Genesis. Just stick your finger in your nose, put it on your Genesis, and that is our new mascot. Booger Man.
But, yeah, Shiny, I think... as much as I did like Earthworm Jim, they did do MDK. What? Yeah, that meant Murder, Death, Kill, isn't it?
All right, yes, Murder, Death, Kill.
What's funny was the fact that they ported the first game to WiiWare, and yeah, it didn't work out very well for some reason.
Yeah, I imagine not. A game called Murder, Death, Kill on WiiWare.
No, it was just a really bad port, apparently.
All right.
It just didn't play very well.
But what I like about it is, or what I like about Giant Citizen Kabuto is you got a fucking jetpack, man. So you're flying around shooting shit. I like that. That's the kind of game I can get into.
Speaking of jetpacks, I've been playing little bits of Tribes Ascend.
And it has a jetpack?
Well, Tribes always had a jetpack.
Ooh.
But no,
I need to play more jetpack games for sure.
Well, Tribes was a first. Well, especially Tribes 2 was a first-person shooter that my friend really liked. And the bizarre thing that my friend did when he would play Tribes is he would always play the game with a trackball.
What?
Yeah, he was a bit crazy like that, but then he would play it with a trackball, so he was kind of gimping himself, but he would beat everyone. He was so good with Tribes 2 on a trackball, it was insane. Like,
He just
I can
decided,
never understand
I'm too
how
good playing it like a normal person, so I'm just going to play with a fucking trackball?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But it was really good with it, though.
That's like playing Tetris with your penis.
and still being the world
still
champion.
getting 999 million points. Yeah, you got the the highest score. Well, I did it with my cock, bitch.
But my friend my friend would never want to play Tribes 2 with a mouse and keyboard. He played it with a keyboard and a trackball, which everybody thought he was mad, but then he would just completely destroy us. It's just like bloody hell. But no, I've been playing Ascend, which is really good. Again, the new thing that they've added to this game is what they call skiing. Basically, it allows you so that you have no friction on the ground whatsoever. So you can basically slide. You slide around on the floor. So you can put yourself on the side of a hill, turn the skis on. You basically slide down the hill, and the idea is you're using your jetpack each time you go uphill. So the idea is with doing that, you actually make yourself faster and faster and faster.
Oh, awesome.
And the fastest I've ever travelled at was something insane, like 165 kilometers an hour, which is about 90 miles an hour.
Jesus Christ.
90 miles an hour on foot.
Fuck it up. This is a new game or an old game?
Yeah, it's a new game. It's a freemium game, so you can download it for free. Although you can potentially purchase stuff in the game. One thing I will say, anybody who ever fucking purchases the Thumper grenade launcher with cash is a dick. Because you can basically purchase that with experience points after your the first game you play. Because it's only 100 experience points and you can get that fucking easy. So if anybody does purchase that for the 150 coins or whatever the hell they call it on Tribes, you're a dickwad.
Tribes has been around for a long time, the series?
I'm trying to remember. It was like, I think Tribes and Tribes 2 was like early 2000s. They've been around for 10 or so.
What is it with the early 2000s and the fucking awesome jetpack games, man? Why don't they bring that back?
Well, like I said, you download Tribes and play with me and try and get points for the Red Eagles.
Get this off of Steam?
No, it's actually on it's on their website. It's highres.com, but it's res spelled with a Z. I hate it whenever you try to guess a link and it gives you a spam site.
Oh, shit. Oh, this came out in 1998, the first one.
Oh, okay.
By Sierra Entertainment, or Dynamix. Published by Sierra, developed by Dynamix. That's the Star Siege Tribes.
You can download this for free, and then if you go on Facebook, you can get the Facebook app that gives you 250 gold for free.
Oh, wow.
So I took advantage of that and purchased a machine gun with it.
Oh, awesome. I definitely will have to look into this game. Best multiplayer at PAX.
It is pretty cool. The only issue that I have is that it has issues with my graphics card.
Oh, yeah?
So every so often it will just, like, the screen will just go fucked up and will crash.
Oh, no. That's not good.
But then again, that's me being silly and buying an ATI graphics card when I really should get an NVIDIA. But
yeah, well, I got an ATI as well.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
I think I have a Chinese knockoff ATI as well because it's been acting up lately.
Oh, right. But nah, it's a pretty good game. I just been losing quite a lot on it. I think I've only won a couple of games, and even then they were only capture flag. There is a team deathmatch as well, but I'm really bad at that.
Do they have any of the older ones though, like the first one, like the Star Siege Tribes? Or
I can't remember too much about this game except my mate was just really good at Tribes 2. But all I know about this is that there are two groups. There's Red Eagles and there's Diamond Sword. I'm with Red Eagle, so we're kind of like free. We're like the crazy freedom fighters that have too many guns for their own good. And then there's Diamond Sword, which is more of like the conservative imperialist types that they have lots and lots of money. So.
I don't want to be on the imperialists. I want to be a rebel with a fucking jetpack.
Well, you get jetpacks in both teams, but
a rebel with a jetpack.
Rebel with a jetpack.
Isn't that a movie with James Dean? It should be. Why did James Dean get a fucking jetpack?
But it seems that every single time I go into a game, I always end up with a capture the flag mission where someone has already destroyed the base beforehand, so we can't get any fucking turrets working. I'm running around going, why can't I be an engineer yet? Because that's the really annoying thing. You have to level up. your stats in order to unlock more classes. And I was like, if I was an engineer, I would have been able to get this shit fixed by now, but clearly not. So I have to run like pretty much camping around this base so that no one comes along and steals the freaking flag because all our turrets are destroyed. And it's just like, the worst one ever was when like about seven freaking diamond swords managed to like get themselves inside the base, and they just kept like throwing grenades near the doors. I'm like, oh great, how the hell am I going to be able to go through this? Although I was crazy once and tried to see if I could actually fit a hover bike through it. That didn't work out very well.
Oh no. Yeah, it looks like there are torrents available for this, but GOG doesn't have it. I checked them first.
Yeah, well, I just downloaded it from the website. It's free.
Yeah, but I want to play the old school one first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You can probably get those on torrent or something. I don't know if you can actually get those. I don't know if there's like an online thing where you can download.
GOG doesn't have them.
I think you're gonna have to download it again.
Yeah, that fucking sucks. GOG needs to somehow open up their catalog a lot larger.
Well, they have. I mean, recently they've been putting in new games, which is amazing.
Brand new games?
They put which one was it? They've been putting the Witcher games on there. So I mean, these are games with only like a couple of years old. Yeah, it's a Witcher 1, Witcher 2. There is Spacechem is on there, which only came out a couple of years ago. The brand new game is called Botanic. Oh, I can never pronounce this. Botanicula, which is kind of like this this platformer based on plants, which is meant to be like a brand new game.
Cool. You have jetpacks?
No.
Yeah.
It's just
Assassin's Creed now? What the fuck?
Yeah, they got Assassin's Creed, and Painkiller is on there. Neverwinter Nights is on there. They've got quite, I think they need to change their name because they're no longer old games. It has to be just called GG, as in good games.
GG.
GG.
Yeah, they start adding new games. That defeats the whole purpose. There are thousands of awesome old games that they don't have, like Battlezone 2 or there are tons of fucking cool games that they need to get from the back catalog before they start coming up with new shit.
I got Spacechem from Steam. I don't mind it, but it's the most ludicrously difficult puzzle game you'll ever play.
Is it?
Because you you have to understand chemistry, and then there's like like the first few levels are pretty simple and pretty good, but if you ever watch like a YouTube video on these, they will mess your brain up just looking at it, because it's kind of like you have to like operate something to actually move these atoms around, and you've got to link them, and you have to like create like a what do you call it? What do you call those factories that did everything on a line? I can't remember the word now.
Assembly line?
There you go. You're basically making like a really complex assembly line to put atoms together to make a molecule.
Oh shit! I hope the North Koreans don't get hold of this game.
But it's
how much does it cost on Steam? Spacechem.
It's probably the same price.
$10.
It's probably going to be about that. I know I got mine on a special offer.
Because they were selling for $10 on Good Old Games.
Yeah, it's the same price. It's $6.99 on here, which is about $10.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing this.
Yeah, by the time you get to like the 12th level, it will absolutely fry your brain.
I'm looking at one of the images here, and it reminds me of one of the puzzles in Time Splitters. You ever played the Time Splitters series?
I've played a lot of Time Splitters too.
Oh yeah, I think it's the last one that they made was the fucking best one. What was it? Time Splitters? Can't remember the name of it now.
It was like Future something.
Future Perfect or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like one of those puzzles. Like there was a puzzle in that game where you had the circuit board and you had to line up things similar to like Fallout, where you have the pipes and shit. Or not, Bioshock.
Yeah, that was Pipe Dream.
Pipe dreams, yeah.
Yeah,
But there's
this
like
is.
that puzzle in
If
there.
you think this is a pipe dream, no, it isn't.
It's even worse than that.
It's the pipe dream I can understand. This gets a little silly. This is almost like programming.
Oh god, it's pipe dreams on crack.
But yeah.
Or LSD.
The one thing that did annoy me when this game came out was because one of the bosses is like a levitating statue with an eyeball in it. So of course you get all those fucking people from Infowars going, "This game is about Illuminati." I'm like, it's a fucking video game about putting
classic.
molecules together. You fucking dipshit.
Well, by the time this podcast airs, we will have already had our interview with Alex Jones.
Oh,
Seriously.
I'll try not to spoil it.
Don't tell anyone, but Alex Jones will be... you will have heard Alex Jones already on the podcast, so... on a previous podcast.
Oh, yeah, I was finding out things to do... to hack my controller to make this this pinball controller I'm making. There was... I'm using this website called Acid Mods, and one of their articles that they put up was a video from Infowars about how they believe that like the Kinect is used by the US military to spy on people, and I'm like,
no,
what?
Facebook is used by the US military to spy on people. They don't need the Kinect.
Yeah, I just find it hilarious that like people honestly believe in this shit, and it's and what it is that okay, there was a scenario that happened just after the Kinect got released, where apparently like a bunch of people realized that their conversations were being recorded, and there is actually a setting on the Xbox 360 that prevents any recordings from the Kinect to be sent to other people,
Right.
which I think is a little bit dodgy in the first place, but they didn't, like, Infowars started like saying, oh, the military is taking over this, and I'm like, when the hell does the military get involved with Microsoft? And it's like okay, I understand, like the military has their own kind of, you know, first person shooter simulation thing to like simulate a skirmish or to simulate like a scenario that's going on, but they've literally like decided it was a great idea to link these together and then rant about it, and it's like you don't actually have any decent proof about this. You're just screaming and shouting about one thing you've heard and then screaming about another thing you've heard, and then you try to put it together, and it's like, you know,
oh my god. The sad thing is that it's not Alex Jones saying it. It's one of his minions that he has.
Yeah, it's one of his dipshit. They managed to get like the youngest guy he can find.
Yeah. Who's
probably about the same age, maybe even younger than me. And I'm like, I really want to punch this guy in the face. This guy does not know what the fuck he's talking about.
He probably doesn't even know how to use a Kinect.
Yeah, he probably doesn't even play video games for all I fucking care. He probably, I don't know, masturbates in front of a gun. I don't know. That's what most of them are fucking like anyway.
Coming to the Wii U.
Don't get the guns away from me! That. Yeah.
Coming to the Wii U, the new gun masturbatory simulation experience. Published by Infowars.
Yeah. Wow.
Kinect controls the future with a K. That's just great. Some guy named Jason Justice.
Is that what he calls himself?
Well,
I didn't actually keep an eye. I just saw the article. I didn't actually play the video because I knew that it was just going to be him whining about it. But the article pretty much describes what he was talking about. I didn't realise that the guy actually talking in the video who's called himself Jason Justice like he's some kind of fucking superhero. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I don't know if it's the Infowars thing, but there's another guy down. If you scroll down after searching in, I typed in Infowars Connect, and then the top ones are that Jason Burma's guy talking about it. And then there's some guy who's apparently replaying the video or something. And his YouTube username is Jason Justice. Or maybe that guy really loves this Jason Justice guy. I have no idea. Because I'm not going to click on the video. Because I'm not drunk enough to do that. If I had a bottle of scotch in front of me, I'd be like, fuck this podcast.
Speaking about people who just rant, I was watching this stream that someone was playing that new MMO that everybody keeps talking about, Terra. I think it's called Terra, but Tera. And he was playing this video, this audio in the background. This guy just ranting hardcore. He calls himself Ghost.
Oh, God.
And this is basically who I want Alex Jones to be. Basically, this really drunken, ranty bloke where people try to Skype in and basically take the mick out of him. It was hilarious.
That would be awesome.
It was like there was this guy that just rang in. He was just like, yeah, I got this porn star with me. He's like, okay, porn star, right? Okay, bring her on. And then it was just like Microsoft Sam like speaking bullshit. It was like, oh, you piece of shit! Like, hangs him up. The next guy comes on and he's taking the piss out of him as well. It's so funny.
So this guy actually
who I want. I wish Alex Jones was like that, where every single call in, someone would just take the piss out of him.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
This is what Alex Jones needs to realize, is that he's doing it just so he can get his huge fucking studio, and then eventually he can move out to his fucking island in the middle of nowhere. He's doing it for the money.
Oh, hell yeah, of course. Just like Art Bell, who's now retired on his island, apparently. Because there's a new guy doing Coast to Coast AM. It's great just listening to those old, like, Coast to Coast from the 90s, because they're just so fucking insane. All of them are. They're just all insane. Insane in the membrane. Obama's coming for your guns.
No, there was, what was this guy? He was ranting about North Korea, apparently. I don't, maybe you already know about this. I didn't realize about this, but apparently, they managed to make another missile, but it only lasted for 90 minutes. No, not 90 minutes, 90 seconds, I mean.
They launched a second missile?
Well, that is what this guy was ranting about. Apparently, they managed to create a second missile, but it didn't last very long in air.
Well, the first one didn't last very long.
But
they're digging a hole for nuclear tests right now. Digging another hole to stick their dicks in. This is great. Just scrolled down a little bit more and I found another Alex Jones video. DVR is remotely erasing conspiracy theory with Jesse Ventura. So basically, Alex Jones doesn't know how to use his TiVo. His wife is deleting his conspiracy theory with Jesse Ventura episodes to tape Survivor or something. So he's ranting about that. That's what I imagined the video. It's probably not.
This is again. I don't want to be nasty to my manager just because he's my manager.
You don't want to get fired.
You don't want to get fired, and you don't really want to bite the hand that feeds. But he keeps sending me all these links to join the Jesse Ventura Facebook group, and I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, yeah, there's a reason why Alex Jones needs this guy, because one, he's a bit of a hard case. Secondly, he hasn't done very much in the last few years.
Yeah.
And, he's going to try and make as much money as what Alex Jones is doing. But I love how all of these conspiracy theorist guys are like, I wouldn't say that in front of Jesse Ventura. And I'm like, Jesse Ventura is an old guy.
Yes.
Despite even having muscles, probably doesn't know what the hell to do with them. And I want... Okay, if
you're challenging him right now, aren't you?
Yeah. I want to challenge Jesse Ventura to one of these UFC fighters. I want to see that happen.
Oh, but you're not going to fight him yourself.
I want to see like a 19-year-old built like a shithouse against Jesse Ventura and see what happens.
You just want to torture the elderly. He's already senile enough to believe in conspiracy theories, for God's sake.
Yeah. Or he's just basically hanging around Alex Jones to make more money because he hasn't done anything for the last 15 years.
Yeah. Spacechem, not going to play it. It fries my brain looking at just the screenshots.
What's that?
The Spacechem game. There's no one going to play that.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of a sci-fi puzzler, but I hate programming, so fuck that.
But what's worse, it's not necessarily like programming in the sense that you're typing things. It's like it's programming in an incredibly visual but very complex, and holy shit, this is going to melt my brain trying to figure this out.
Sounds like Android App Inventor. Legos on LSD.
But it's hilarious because there is every so often you have like these levels where you have like a monster or a boss or something, and one of them is a pyramid with an eye in it. So like all of these people are just like Illuminati, and I'm like, give it a break.
That's Illuminati for sure, right? How stupid.
You know, it's I don't want to keep going off track about this, but it's just like the whole Illuminati thing cracks me up because like. No one has any real proof about it, but like people keep coming up with stuff that is either hokey or doesn't make any sense, or like the worst one ever was when someone like posted this video on YouTube, and I just randomly stumbled on this, and it was like a secret Illuminati weapon is like it's meant to be like a machine that like shoots air at ridiculous speed so that you can like tear like cities apart.
No, I think Nerf made that in the 80s.
And it was like this weird, like it didn't even make any sense. It was like this black and green thing where it just basically looked like smoke. It looked like he had literally like had a cigarette and then filmed it and then put some special effects on top of it.
Smoke gets in your eyes. The Illuminati.
Yeah, I'm just like
next door.
And then they're like posting about all this shit, and it's just like, ugh. People are doing this just to get publicity, and it fucking winds me up. This is a podcast about video games.
Yes, it is. We haven't talked about video games at all. So it's going to be a lot of editing work.
Oh, I got very, very, very tempted by a eBay auction for a Galaga machine. I probably told you this as well. Galaga.
Galaga arcade machine.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still there. I think it's bought now. Yeah, it was in the UK. Oh, no, it's got 5 hours left. Because originally it was at 99p. The machine itself looked like it was working. It's just that there were some parts of the actual cab that were like falling apart.
Right.
So if there was any work to be done on this, it was mainly just to do with the cab rather than the electronics.
Nice.
But okay, yes, someone's got it for 56 quid now. It was at 99p.
Still, that's cheap.
Yeah, it is cheap. The only thing that annoyed me was the fact that it's you have to collect it, and I'd love to have this. I'd love to have this, but I can't. I don't drive, and I don't know how on earth I'm going to be able to take it back. Plus, I don't know where the hell I'm going to put this thing. It's describing how everything works. He's even got video for it that proves that it works. The only issue I might have is that the monitor shows a bit more red than it should do, so it doesn't like produce like a true white. The white just looks a bit pink, unless that's just to do the quality of his camera. But
could be.
But the game looks like it works fine. It's just that he's got some T-molding that's been ripped off, and parts of the cab has been kicked in. But apart from that, it's actually the electronics is actually working fine. And I mean, I can definitely get some T-molding from someone else on eBay.
Can't you get a courier or somebody to help you?
I could, but they're going to charge me like 8 times the amount.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm looking at the picture of the the arcade board here. Not the arcade board, sorry, the control board with the control stick and everything in it. It looks warped or something. Oh,
I see what you mean. It's like got a bend to it.
Yeah. I don't know if that's just the art peeling off of the
you mean no I thought you were talking about the actual motherboard. No, he does say that. He mentions above there that the CPO is peeling off, which is like the laminate stuff that goes on top of the cab,
so you'd have to change the art.
But no, I was looking at the motherboard. There's 2 motherboards stacked on side by side of each other, and one of them looks like it's concaving in, and I'm sort of thinking, ooh, maybe electronics might not be fine.
Yeah.
But, because there's nothing on top of it, so I can't understand how that has happened unless this Electro Coin. I love the company, Electro Coin Automatics. It's like, what? Who would call themselves that? It looks like they may have used like some kind of dodgy material to make the motherboards.
Yeah, look at it.
But no, it's just like it's 56 quid for a Galaga cab, and I so want it. But
Yeah.
I just don't have anywhere to put it. That and I don't have the space, and I need the money to go to the States. So
Right.
sucks.
That really sucks, yeah.
Rather than compare personal computers ourselves, we asked the computers which one was better on the basis of price and memory. The Apple II preferred the Commodore 64. Then we asked the IBM, and it picked the Commodore 64. Then the Radio Shack chose the Commodore 64. That's what we like about our competition. They're so honest. The Commodore 64. What nobody else can give you at twice the price.
And now it's time for another installment of Memoirs of a Gamer.
A few other games I remember having. I actually had a copy of Elite, which a lot of people say is a really good game, but to my 5 and 6 year old mind, it was a little bit over the top. So I didn't really get into that much. I'm trying to remember what else I had. Again, I had so many games. I know I had like a bowling simulator, which I couldn't quite grasp. It had all these crazy, like, you know, it would ask you what, you know, angle you were going to, and how much spin you were going to put on the ball. And there was so much crap before you actually, like, bowled the ball. It was, like, just a really bad game.
It's worse than real bowling.
I don't mind real bowling, but this game, like, it took you about 5 minutes before you actually make your first bowl, because you had to
Bowling simulation.
do all these mathematics just to...
Just like the racing sims of the day. You spend all this time configuring your car and never get to fucking race. It's like, we have mechanics to do that shit. Why the fuck should we have to do it? We're the drivers. Give me an arcade racer any fucking day of the week. RGR just did a long top 10 list on best driving games.
All right.
And
What came number one? Because what episode did I listen to? I managed to try and get back into the episodes, although I still got a bit of a backlog to go. But I think it was the episode called the modifiability
of Doom.
Of Doom, yeah. I listened to that one.
That was a good one.
But I still have to go through sacrification.
Sacrification, that's a new one, yeah. SoCal Mike just makes up new words. They have an entire book of new words that he has made up.
I'm trying to remember. There was this game my dad really liked on the Commodore 64, which was actually based on an American TV show. I think it was called Airwolf. It was
I know that show. I watched that as a kid.
Right.
Classic
Okay. Well,
show.
I actually have the Commodore 64 game to that.
You still have
that
it?
game. And that, yeah, I've still have all my Commodore 64 games. It's just they're all in the attic.
I wish I had my Commodore 64 still.
But this was, but it was mad because like you had one of those what do you call it? Like those overlays you put over the keyboard to tell you what each key does. Oh, that was crazy. Like it told you what all the F keys did.
I never owned a single Commodore game that had an overlay. I didn't even know they existed. The overlays.
But
because how would you put an overlay? I mean, I guess it
was
over
okay.
Keys and shit.
It didn't actually go over the keys. It went around the outside, so it basically told you like what each of the numbers did. It told you what the F keys did. They had similar things for like word processors as well that like told you what the keyboard shortcuts did and stuff like that.
Never knew that.
Yeah, my dad was into that, and I tried to play it, but it had this really convoluted, intro thing where you had to like put your name in and all your stats, and you end up with a document and a dog tag. But
okay.
I was just like, oh, this is just too much. It's like the beginning of there was a PC game that did it as well that really wound me up. I got it on GOG. Oh crap, what the hell was it called? It was a military strategy game. I'm gonna have to look this up now again. My
that doesn't really narrow it down very much. A military strategy game. There were a lot of those for the old DOS and early PC days.
Yeah, because this is a DOS game. Oh God's sake! They made a new game recently, which I played the demo and I really couldn't get into it. Oh, what the hell was it called? That's it, Jagged Alliance. Okay, right. Jagged Alliance 2 had a similar intro to a similar beginning to what Airwolf had, where you had to answer all these weird personal questions, and you had to fill in these details. And I was
what
just
is the time of your
let me
month?
Just play the game already.
When does your menstrual cycle begin? I just want to get in the helicopter and blow away bad guys, for fuck's sakes. Come on.
But yeah, it was more of a simulator than a real video game, which was a shame. But
See, that's the point. Like I'm trying to tell. I'm listening to this recent podcast, and they're talking about racing sim games. I just never fucking got any kind of sim game. It's a racing sim because I play racing. I don't want to simulate.
I never owned any simulators. Well, I own Airwolf, but
yeah.
I never owned. I never really got into simulation games myself. Although I do remember playing a lot of Microsoft Flight Simulator on my uncle's PC
with
and
the
just
joystick
press things.
That's the fun part.
And yeah, he had one of those like real old school analog joysticks that had the calibration switches on the sides.
Oh, nice.
So you set those up first, and then you start flying. And
yeah, I can see like a flight simulator being a great thing because most people don't get a chance to actually fly a real plane, but everybody pretty much gets to drive a real car. So we know how to turn left and go straight, which is all you really need to know when it comes to racing. That, of course, your fuel level and your tires and all that bullshit. I don't want to get into the minutia of that shit. I just keep driving until the fucking tire goes flat.
I used to also remember I had a game that was very similar to Sky Kid called it was just called Helicopter, and it was another one of those bizarre like shmups where rather than going from left to right, you were going from right to left.
Ooh,
and in a similar case with Sky Kid, you had to drop a bomb on an enemy base, but you were on a helicopter. So I never thought helicopters dropped bombs, but
yeah, it's a little difficult for a helicopter to drop a bomb since they have to get pretty close to the target, and then it blows them up as well.
But I remember that game, and then I had. What wound me up? I was trying to look up. I did actually have a video pinball for the Commodore 64, and I always thought it was called Pinball Wizard, but it turns out it's called Pinball Advanced Simulator. And
that's a very less sexy name. Pinball Advanced Simulator.
But apparently the pinball game in Pinball Advanced Simulator was called Pinball Wizard, and I was like, why can't you just call it Pinball Wizard? It had like this medieval theme with a castle in the background, and the idea was that as you gain more and more points, you see the castle deteriorate, but as you kept on going, the castle would like regrow, and it turned into like this crazy kind of cyberpunkish castle.
Ooh, wow. So it's like futuristic.
Yeah, it sort of, well, think of, I'll probably say, like, medieval punk. It was like,
Steampunk.
there was, like, crystals growing at the side of it, and there's, like, lightning coming down on it, and
Ooh, cool.
it was, like, I couldn't describe it. It's like a cross between a sword and sorcery and sci-fi. But,
Wow.
yeah, I remember playing that a bit. And then I had a Fruit Machine game, which was literally called Fruit Machine.
Of course.
And as a kid, I did not understand how to play that game because I didn't understand the concept of betting. I just wanted to line up.
You didn't know anything about gambling.
So
you didn't know that there was a payout once you actually did that.
Yeah.
It's a line-up matching game.
Yeah, it did something weird. Like once you lose your money, you had to wait like half a minute to like get some extra cash so you can keep on playing it.
Oh, a Facebook game.
So it had like this weird game over screen where you literally had to wait like almost forever to actually get some more money back and continue playing it, which kind of defeated the point of the game. But then again, you want to keep on playing it anyway, so.
So it's really fucking around with your, emotions and your psychological feelings towards gambling. So it's probably forcing you to become an actual gambler. It's probably a real gambling simulator. Since that seems to be all that they seem to have made was simulators.
As I was saying, out of the many games that I had for the Commodore 64, I did buy one game, which I got from a local fete that had like a parade and some rides. There were some people trying to sell off some stuff as well, and there was this old lady who had who was selling these Commodore 64 tapes, which I don't know why she had them, but she probably was trying to sell them off for someone from someone else. And I picked up one thinking that it would be cool because it was a game that allowed you to make games, which I thought was a really cool idea. But what was on the case was not actually in the tape. It turned out to be lots of different games, which were completely irrelevant to what was on the case. But there were some fairly decent games on there. One, as I was saying before we got dropped out, was there was this ninja game which sort of played like a Ninja Gaiden, although it wasn't as good as Ninja Gaiden. But the two games that I remember playing the most out of those was a game called Mrs. Mop. There was another game called Dustbin Man.
Oh, God.
And they sound
cleaning simulators.
But they sound terrible, but they were actually quite entertaining. Mrs. Mop is where you play as a maid who is cleaning up a house. And you're in the kitchen, and you see this lady literally, on her hands and knees, like trying to scrub the floor. The idea is that things will happen in the kitchen that will go disastrously wrong. So, like the kitchen sink will start leaking, so there's a huge puddle on the floor. So you have to go grab your mop and try to get rid of the water, and then the oven will explode. So there's fire everywhere. So you have to you pick up this water sprayer, and you take the fire out with that, and then a dog would run in and leave paw tracks all over the kitchen floor. So you grab the mop again and try cleaning that up. It's actually quite fun.
Sounds cool.
Despite the fact that it sounds the game sounds terrible looking at it from the outside, but when you play it, it's actually quite funny. And then the other game, it's called Dustbin Man. Again, terrible name, but they actually made the concept of the game because it plays a bit like Frogger. The idea is that you play as a dustbin man, so you have that silly song in the background. My old man, the dustman, he wears the dustman's hat. He wears design trousers and lives in a council flat. Playing constantly throughout the whole game. But
Only
the idea is that there's like you have your lorry that you throw all the crap inside, and you basically pick up a bin, or like a wheelie bin. You drag it across. You take it to the I don't know, like a dumper or a lorry or whatever the hell they call it, and you put the bin back. But the idea is that you have to go across the street as well, and this is where like the Frogger bit comes in, because there are these cars going back and forth. So there's like a Frogger element in the game, but you have to constantly like go back and forth and putting these, and there'll be something else that happens, like I think it's like the third house that you have to go to, you can accidentally wake up that person's dog, which starts chasing you down the chasing you down their front garden. So you have to use the action button to close the gate so that the dog doesn't chase you out the street.
That's great.
It sounds like a terrible idea for a game, but it's actually rather entertaining. So
yeah, it sounds pretty fun.
That's what I remember from my experiences with the Commodore 64.
That's it.
That's all I have to say about that.
Well, friends, sorry, but another episode of Stalking the Retro is over. But don't worry, there'll be another episode in a week or two. Why am I talking in this eerie voice? Let's change things up a bit. Anyway, I don't know how to do these outro things, but I just thought I'd, thank a few people like Nurmix, Septic Lemon, Leithco, Burger Time, Dhalamar, who this wouldn't be possible without his website, Retro Gaming Roundup, Scott, everybody there. Fucking great, incredible fucking podcast. Wonderful forums that you guys have. So happy to be a member. And of course, Nurmix made the incredible intro for this podcast. This new intro that you're hearing is all made by Nurmix on a computer. Computer-generated tunes. That's fucking sweet, man. And of course, participate in the Retro Gaming Roundup forums, the Retro Review Revolution forums. Check out wasteseconds.com. Thank you, and keep stalking the retro.